so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Participants to be loud, be proud, and be
Afternoon, baseball fans. MIAA Tournament baseball coming your way here from Nicolay Field between the number 2 seed in the MIAA Tournament, the Adrian College Bulldogs, versus the number 3 seed, the Hope College Flying Dutchmen. Adrian coming into today with a record of 26-14. They sat 15-6 in the MIAA season. Hope College coming in with a 20-18 record. They were 13-8 in the MIAA season. Tied with Alma, but they did take 2 out of 3 against Alma in their regular season series to win the tiebreaker and take the 3 seed. Other game going on in the MIAA tournament today is Kalamazoo serving as the 1 seed, going up against number 4 seeded Alma. We will bring you some updates of that game during today. But we are going to get started here from Nicolay Field. Jacob Charles on the mound for the Bulldogs. Robbie Sturzma leading off for Hope College. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Prang, joined alongside Dave Van Giesen. As the first pitch from Charles is a fastball low for a ball. Sturzma coming into this game with a .359 batting average, playing in 35 games. As he takes the second pitch and rips it foul, even in the count 1-1. Breaking ball rolled over. Nick Bruder at short picks it up. Will fire across to A.J. Miranda. He'll scoop it out of the turf, and that's out number 1.
Now batting right fielder number 9, Charlie Saul.
Jacob Charles doing the pitching today for the Bulldogs. He's making his 11th start of the year. He's got a 3.52 ERA with 2 complete games and a shutout. Leads Adrian with 64 innings pitched. He struck out 36 batters and has walked 12. There's 2 pitches to Saul. Charlie Saul hit foul, and he's quickly down 0-2.
Charles is going right after these hitters, Mike, as that one's down low in the dirt. But that's something that you want to do, especially in this tournament format with all the games that are coming up in the next 3 days. You want to keep your pitch count low, and therefore any pitches, the longer you can go, that's the less your bullpen is taxed, and it just goes smoother for the whole week. So I'm sure all the pitchers in the tournament are going to be aggressive against hitters.
This one's skied, popped up in the infield on the right side. Rolando Jimenez camping underneath it, and he will catch it for out number 2.
Now batting the first baseman, number 6, Owen Krizan.
Owen Krizan takes first pitch, called a strike. He's hitting .348 this season, also playing in 35 games. 26 RBIs on the year, 46 hits, and 39 runs scored. Count is even at 1-1. Adrian playing straight up defensively. Takes a ball in. Earlier this season, Adrian grabbed 1 win against Hope. It was an 11-3 victory on the road. There's a called strike 2, evens the count. Before a little bit of a interesting series of events that led to a pair of double forfeits for both teams, handing both Adrian and Hope 2 losses in the series. So Adrian really only won the series 1-0.
So that first game, which I believe is the game that Charles pitched to get the Bulldogs the win, became a very important win, a lot more important than we knew at the time.
Yeah, after that series, we were kind of looking at it, and there could have been a spot where it would have been a 4-way tie for first place. Had different situations panned out as here's a check swing, chopper to Charles at the mound. He'll pick it up, fire to Miranda, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs in the top of the first. Adrian will see what they can do at the plate when we come back. Welcome back. Bottom of the first. It was a quick 1-2-3 inning for Hope in the top half of the first inning. Joe Casal will lead things off for the Bulldogs. On the mound is Jake Van Dam for Hope. Van Dam making his 3rd start of the season. This is his 8th appearance. He holds a 2-1 record with a 3.18 ERA.
Leading off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the first inning is right fielder number 10, Joe Casal.
Yeah, the interesting number there, Mike, is only his 3rd start of the season. So he's seen a little starting, a little relieving, and he's going out here to face the Bulldogs in this big game here, the first game of the tournament. Because, again, a tournament like this, winning that first game is so important. It gets you into the unbeaten game tomorrow, and gives you save your 2 losses for throughout the tournament, and the longer the tournament goes on, the better chance you have of winning it.
The 0-2 pitch from Van Dam is fouled off by Casal, and he's down 0-2. Yeah, we saw that last year. The Bulldogs were able to make a comeback, but they lost to Alma in the first game. Had to knock out Kalamazoo, had to knock out Hope, and then they had to beat Alma twice, which, lucky for Bulldog fans, they did to earn the automatic bid to the NCAA Regional. From there, they went to Marietta and did the same exact thing, lost the opening round to Marietta. Then they beat Mary Washington, beat Case Western, and then they made their way back to the regional championship, but lost 2-0 to Marietta again. But yeah, winning that first game is really big because you save a lot of your pitching.
Yeah, and what I mean by the fact that the longer the tournament goes, that you're in the tournament, is most amateur baseball teams have more hitting than they do pitching, especially if they're good teams, as Casal looks at a strike 3 for out number 1.
The batter is shortstop number 5, Nick Bruder.
So that brings Bruder to the plate, leading the team with a .397 batting average. He was the MIAA batting champion as he hit .448 in conference play to lead the conference. No look at first pitch, call to strike.
And normally in these first games, everybody goes with their ace in their low-scoring games, but as the tournament goes on, you get a better chance to bash away at pitching down the line, and so you want to be there for those games. So winning the first game is huge.
Bruder rolls this one over to third. They'll pick it up, fire across the diamond. That's a quick out, number 2. Brings Ryan Davis to the plate.
Now batting third baseman number 17, Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis batting just .307 this season, but no player on the Bulldog squad has hit harder outs than he has. He has really been living in kind of some bad luck this year because he's hitting the ball well. So he's a dangerous man here in the 3 spot.
This ball's ripped down the line. A nice snag there by the third baseman. That's Al Money, and he makes the play. So both teams trade 1, 2, 3 innings here in the first. Jacob Charles heads back out to the mound for Adrian. We head to the second, tied 0-0.
Thanks, your marked man.
Top of the second inning here. Cade Seabaugh will lead things off.
Leading off for Hope in the top half of the second inning is the designated hitter number 3, Cade Seabaugh.
Seabaugh hitting .381 on the season in 25 games and looks at first pitch, call to strike. Charles, through 1 inning so far, has been pretty efficient. He entered this inning with 14 pitches, 10 of which were strikes. He looks at a ball, low and away, evens the count 1-1. Nice sunny day here at Nicolay Field. A little bit of a breeze blowing out to right. Seabaugh fouls this one off to the left side.
Yeah, the weather is cooperating today, as this is a perfect day for baseball. It's not too hot, not too cold. There's a breeze blowing out to right field, as it so often does here at Nicolay Field. Bouncing ball to Miranda, and he'll step on the bag for out number 1.
Now batting the left fielder number 16, Brendan Collins.
So Brendan Collins comes to the plate after the unassisted out by A.J. Miranda at first. As that ball's hit through the right side, and that's the first hit of the ball game.
Now batting the second baseman, number 8, Nolan Gardner.
That was Collins' 34th hit of the season.
Yeah, that was a good piece of hitting there by Collins. He's has noticed that Jacob is trying to pound that strike zone, especially with the first pitch, and he took advantage of it and just grounded one into right field. Not particularly hard hit ball, but where the second baseman Jimenez was playing, he couldn't get to it, and he's got the first hit of the game.
He was the count 1-1 to Gardner after the foul ball there. Gardner hitting .280 on the season. This one popped up and out of play behind home plate. 1-2 the count. Outfield playing pretty straight up. Nick Bruder shifted behind second. Ryan Davis is at third, playing off the line. We see a pick attempt there. Around the infield for Adrian. AJ Miranda at first, Rolando Jimenez at second, Nick Bruder at short, Ryan Davis at third. This one's rolled over to Jimenez. He's going to flip it over to Bruder at second. Try to turn the double play. Not in time at first, so fielder's choice for Gardner. And we got 2 outs.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Devin Mewson.
Back to in the field from left to right in the outfield. Easton Rogers in left, Jack Boyke in center, and Joe Casal in right. David Kedrow doing the catching today for Adrian.
Nice play there by Jimenez. He had to go to his left to get that ball, and then had to turn around right to throw it to Bruder. But Gardner had just a little too much speed to turn the double play, but it was turned about as fast as you could do it on a ball like that.
Long pause from Charles, kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses outside. So today starts the MIAA tournament for baseball. Tomorrow the softball MIAA tournament will start. All those games being played at Trine University, as Trine received the number 1 seed for the softball MIAA tournament. Although weather not looking too promising down there, nor in Kalamazoo, where the rest of this tournament will be played starting tomorrow. So we'll see what other options are presented. One thing that is nice about the MIAA tournament is they leave Saturday open. That's kind of the rain date, but unfortunately Saturday's weather doesn't look great right now either. This ball hit over to third, and it's foul. Count evens 2-2. Mewson this season hitting .227. He's played in 30 games. 20 hits, 20 runs scored. 4 of his hits are doubles, and 2 of them home runs. This one hit off the middle, off the glove of Charles. Bruder grabs it, flips it to second. Out of the reach of Jimenez. That's going to go as a base hit.
Yeah, Bruder made a fine play there, but could not get him. Now batting is third baseman, number 2, Al Money.
Bruder went well to his left. He was on the second base side of the bag, and he just kind of flipped it in the air and came up a little bit behind Jimenez covering second base.
Oh, and I know Charles didn't get the most of it on the mound, but enough to slow it down and allow Bruder to get that extra step to grab the ball in time before it went up the middle. Had that been a full single up the middle, Gardner probably would have ended up on third.
And in this situation with a runner at second base, knocking one down would be just as key. But we get a bouncing ball to Bruder, and he makes the play on the force out at second base to Jimenez, and the inning is over. So for Hope in the top half of the second inning, they get 2 hits, and they leave 2. There were no Bulldog errors. and there were 2 left on base. We'll be back with more. You're watching Adrian College Baseball MI Tournament action here on AC.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second. A.J. Miranda to lead things off for Adrian.
Leading off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the second inning is first baseman number 30, A.J. Miranda.
Got defense for Hope. At first base is Owen Krisen. Second base, Nolan Gardner. Third base, Al Money. And shortstop, Devin Musum. First pitch to Miranda is a ball. In the outfield from left to right, Brendan Collins in left, Robbie Sturzma in center, and Charlie Saul in right. Behind the plate today for the Flying Dutchman is Andrew Pickett. Like we said before, Jake Van Dam on the mound. As he flips over a strike to even the count 1-1. Miranda hitting .347 on the year in 38 games for Adrian. 51 hits, 13 doubles, a triple, and 5 homers. This is a chopper up the middle, and he's going to beat it out. It's going to go as an infield single for A.J. Miranda. Musin at short was playing the high hop, and it just stayed up there and allowed Miranda to get an extra step.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 20, Ed Wagner.
Yeah, Miranda hit that one just a little number off the end of his bat, and it just kind of rolled out there. And Pearson had a long way to come to get that ball, and then he had to throw it on the run, so he couldn't really get everything. His momentum was going forward, so he couldn't get a lot on it, and Miranda just beat it out, hustling down that first base line. Nice hustle play by Miranda. And that kind of shows you what I was talking about Ryan Davis last inning. He hits a shot, they make a play, he's got an out, and AJ hits one off the end of his bat, and he's got a line drive in the scorebook.
So Ed Wagner to the plate. He's quickly down 0-2. Short lead at first for Miranda. This pitch, fastball high. Hope playing pretty straight up in the field right now, except for Al Money and Devin Musin, who shifted over more towards the right side. So big hole down the third baseline. That pitch misses high and away, 2-2. This one hit up the middle. It just misses hitting the base. Short chop tried to take it himself. He will and get the double play. So 6-3 double play there. And that's quickly 2 outs for Hope in the field.
Now batting the catcher, number 25, David Kedrow.
Yeah, as that ball was bouncing out there, I was hoping that it was going to hit that bag, because that would have changed everything. And instead, it's a double play and a promising inning. Now, not so promising.
First pitch to David Kedrow is a ball taken outside. Kedrow, .348 on the year. Swings through that one. He was transitioned to a catcher earlier this season. He was more of a middle infield type, but with all the hot bats in the middle infield, Kedrow being one of them, he had to find a spot to stay in the lineup. So we moved him to behind the plate, where he's been pretty successful so far.
Yeah, Coach Rainey has done a lot of that over his career. Tries to find, his best 9 athletes and then tries to find a position for them. Jacob Charles, our starting pitcher today, was pretty much the full-time shortstop a year ago, but with the emergence of Nick Bruder, Jacob's more of a pitcher. He plays a little more second base where he can still play the infield, but he doesn't have to make that long throw to save his arm for the pitching. And it's worked out good as Jacob's become the bell cow of the Bulldogs weekend opening day pitcher in every series.
Pitch misses low and away. Ball 4. So Adrian has a runner on first again for Easton Rogers.
Now batting the left fielder, number 26, Easton Rogers.
And to that point about Coach Rainey going out and just finding the best 9 athletes and moving them around a bit. We've seen that a lot in the past with Gunnar Rainey being a kind of a second baseman outfielder, and he ends up spending the majority of his career catching. We saw that with Dugan Darnell, who was a third baseman and is now pitching in AAA for the Rockies.
Yeah, Dugan became a relief specialist here at Adrian College. In his senior year, he was pretty dominating on both the mound and third base. And I forget, he had a grand slammer on senior day here against the Hope College Dutchman that landed way up on that hill.
The 2-0 pitch smacked to right center. Kedro's on his way to third. He's going to get there, and the Bulldogs have runners at the corners here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Now batting, center fielder number 9, Jack Boyke.
They'll bring the speedy Jack Boyke to the plate. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. First pitch to Boyke, sits low for a ball.
And, the thing about that as well is all of those guys were really good at their original position. So, I mean, it took a little bit of daring on Coach Rainey's part to do that, I think. Gunnar Rainey was a great outfielder. Jacob, last year, he was a godsend as a freshman to take over that shortstop spot. And Dugan never really left third base while he was a Bulldog, but he certainly helped out that pitching staff his senior year.
Count runs 1-2 on Boyke after a pair of foul balls. Runners on the corners for Adrian. Easton Rogers at first, David Kedro at third. Boyke takes a pitch high, evens the count 2-2. Alma and Kalamazoo are tied 0-0. Top of second, 2 outs. Alma has runners at second and third. That ball ripped towards the Adrian dugout, just high enough to stay out of it. Pretty straight up defense here for Hope. Gardner playing a little deep at second base. Check swing to Boyke. They're going to appeal. No, he did not go. The count runs full.
Yeah, that's going to be advantage for the Bulldogs now as Easton Rogers will get a running start. So if Boyke could hit one down the line and into the corner, we could get a couple runs here. But it's high and they walk him.
So bases loaded here for Rolando Jimenez.
Now batting, second baseman number 8, Rolando Jimenez.
Jimenez has kind of been a diamond in the rough this year, as wasn't getting the playing time to start the season as a freshman, and then one day the Bulldogs did not have the greatest day at the plate, and Rolando got a shot, ripped a double to the gap, then ripped a triple to the gap, and has given Coach Rainey no reason to take him out of the lineup. So he's been the everyday second baseman down the stretch. So he's only played in 13 games. But he's hitting .429. This one's fouled back behind the plate. Evens the count 1-1.
Yeah, as you said, Rolando got in that one game where Coach Rainey, it was the second game of a doubleheader, and Coach Rainey, played a few guys that hadn't been getting a lot of playing time, but Rolando really took advantage of that. I remember thinking at the time, now, this is a young man that wants to play some more, so he's got his wish, and he's been doing a good job. He's been the bright spot as the season has went along for the Bulldogs.
Here's the 1-2 to Jimenez, fouls it off to stay alive. Bases loaded here, 2 outs, bottom of the second. There's a gap in left center that Orlando's looking for. Here's the 1-2. Misses high, evens the count 2-2.
Well, this is one Rolando wants to be ready for, because he does not want to go 3-2 with the bases loaded if he can all avoid it. So pretty much sure you're going to get a strike here.
This one's ripped down the third base line. Foul.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, not by much. Just kicked over the line, about a foot or two in front of third base. Money made a diving stop. Thought it could have been called fair, but...
Yeah, he'd have had trouble throwing Rolando on the way Jimenez runs, but it's a foul ball. Pop up.
This one's popped up and out of play.
So we got a battle going on here, Michael, with bases loaded. Key moment in this ball game.
8th pitch of the at-bat on its way. Here's the 2-2. Fouled it off again. See, 5th foul ball of this plate appearance for Jimenez.
Yes, he's fouled off some really good breaking stuff from Van Dam, and every time he gets a look at it, you start to wonder if it gets a little easier to hit, so hopefully that'll be in his favor.
This one's popped up high in the infield. They're calling for it, and it's Krisen that comes over and makes the catch, so the Bulldogs are held scoreless and leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. You're watching the MIAA Tournament Baseball here on Welcome back. Top of the third, 0-0 between Adrian and Hope. Adrian just left the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Jacob Charles on the mound still for the Bulldogs.
Leading off for Hope in the top of the third inning is catcher number 5, Andrew Pickett.
And looking back at the one box score from the regular season series between Adrian and Hope, Jacob Charles was the winning pitcher. He threw a complete game He allowed 3 runs, only 2 of them earned on 7 hits with 5 strikeouts. Finished the game with 102 pitches only, so he's looking to do that again and keep the Bulldogs in the winner's bracket of the MIAA tournament. As the count to Pickett is even at 1-1.
Well, again, the more you can keep your pitch down, especially a guy like Charles, as we said, he's also a position player. So, you know, if he can keep his pitch count down, not only does he help out the bullpen and leave more pitchers to pitch the upcoming games, but he also gets a chance to maybe play second base some, or maybe even get an inning of relief somewhere later in the week.
Now batting center field number 4, Robbie Sturzma.
So Pickett sent down swinging, and that brings us back to the top of the lineup. And Robbie Sturzma. Sturzma coming in today with a .359 batting average. And he rolls this one over to first. It's just going to stay fair. Miranda picks it up, steps on first for quick out number 2.
Now batting the right fielder number 9, Charlie Saul.
As you mentioned, the weather report is not a particularly bright one for tomorrow. So you never really know how long this tournament is going to go. And if for whatever reason it would go all the way to Sunday. Well, now Wednesday, Sunday, if you didn't have a high pitch count, maybe you can pitch in that championship game.
Definitely.
The Bulldogs get there.
The only thing is the tournament needs to be over by, I believe it's 8 p.m. on Sunday night. So that way the NCAA baseball committee can determine the bracket for the NCAA tournament. Saul's ahead 3-0. Make that 3-1.
Well, they've had some unfortunate weather situations in the Kalamazoo area over the past few days. The tornado touched down, causing some damage there. So, with more weather on the way, you just never know.
The 3-2 pitch misses low, so Saul will walk. We'll bring Krisen to the plate.
Now batting the first baseman number 6, Owen Krisen.
Krisen grounded out his last at-bat. Speaking of Kalamazoo, checking in on that game, Kalamazoo leads 1-0 in the bottom of the second. There's one out, and the Hornets have the bases loaded. Bases loaded are courtesy of a few free bases. They started the inning hit by a pitch. The next hitter walked. The next hitter had a bunt single. And the next, another walk drove in the lone run.
Tell you, when I lived in Battle Creek, that was one of the great things about having tournaments out to Bailey Park, because they had 3. This one is going to be foul. This side. But so if you had a day, pretty much a day long of rain, and the only game you could get in was the 8 o'clock game, you could have 3 of them going on and catch up with the tournament. That really helped keep things on schedule.
That last pitch from Krisen was hit foul down the right field line. Not much room down there, but Casal tried to make the catch crashing into the fence like he did earlier this season. He was successful on. 2-1 pitch goes wide. Makes it 3-1. So Charles struggling a little bit here in the third to find the strike zone.
You know, he's going through the heart of the Hope lineup right now, so he's trying to be careful. There's a deep blast out center field, and it is going to get down, and I believe Casal may have hit Boyke, and they may be injured, and this is going to result in an inside the park home run for the Dutchman. And both Boyke and Casal are down, and this is not a good situation.
Not at all. Boyke went to make a sliding play, and Casal jumped to avoid him, and both of them are down. Boyke looks like he's holding his head, and Casal was able to get up and kind of jump over the ball, but...
Well, when Casal went to jump over Boyke, I think his knee hit Boyke in the head. And I think that injured both the knee, and you could tell that Jack tried to get up there, and he just kind of went back down in a heap. He's up walking now a little bit, so hopefully he's going to be okay. But originally I was worried about Boyke possibly, you know, having some kind of a concussion, but he's up now. And
well, and also as Casal was trying to dodge Boyke, he crashed into the wall out there. So we see Travis Lifford and Lincoln Hayward kind of playing catch here in front of the Adrian dugout in the event someone needs to go out there.
Now, the other thing that was, since Boyke was down and kind of out of it, Casal had to hop his way over to get the ball and try and throw it back in. So
both of them look to be okay. Boyke's walking back towards center. Casal's trying to run this one off. I think he just gave a thumbs up out there, so we're going to continue with the current lineup. But yes, the inside the park home run to Crizzen gives Hope a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third.
It's the first one of those I've ever seen here, Mike. Here at the Nicolay Field.
Now batting for Hope, the designated hitter, number 3, Cade Seaball.
So we're back in action here. Seaball to the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the third, leading 2-0.
Remember, I saw a couple inside the Parker home runs at the old Tiger Stadium back in the day. One I truly remember.
This one's a pop-up left side, running back on it. It's Davis. He's going to make the catch in shallow left field, and that ends the inning. But the Flying Dutchman grab 2 and take the lead. We head to the bottom of the third. You're watching Adrian College baseball here in the MIAA tournament.
Leading off for Adrian in the bottom of the third inning is right fielder number 10, Joe Casal.
So Casal will step to the plate, and we'll see how he's doing after that collision in right center. A breaking ball there kind of froze him for a second, but misses inside. Another one high and in. A little chin music there for Casal. He's quickly ahead 2-0. Fastball catches the inside corner. Outfield shifted slightly over towards right. Casal looks at strike two, evens the count 2-2. Looked a little high there for a breaking ball. Casal hits this one over to short, and it is bobbled. And that's going to go as an error for Hope. There's Musin over there.
Now batting the shortstop, number 5, Nick Bruder.
So the leadoff man aboard for Adrian with the MIAA batting champion, Nick Bruder, at the plate.
Casal got down that line pretty well, but you can tell that he is still laboring a bit.
This one's hit to right center. It's going to find a gap and get past Saul. Casal's rounding third, coming to score. Bruder's sliding into third base, and he's got himself an RBI triple. So the knee of Joe Casal looks to be doing all right as he scored from first base. And now it is 2-1 in favor of Hope.
Now batting the third baseman, number 17, Ryan Davis.
So nobody out with Bruder at third for Ryan Davis.
Yeah, getting to run the bases and trying to score a run like that heals your leg in a hurry there.
Breaking ball, catch the outside corner there for strike one.
That's just how it goes sometimes. You hurt your leg, and then the first thing you got to do is run all the way around the bases in pretty much one fell swoop.
Davis swings that one up at his eyes. Count moves to 1-2. And he gets underneath this one, hits this one to left. This should do the job. Bruder tagging at third. He's headed for home. Here comes the throw. It's not in time, and the Bulldogs have tied the game on a sacrifice fly from Ryan Davis. And we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the third.
Now batting the first baseman, number 30, A.J. Miranda.
Yeah, I was just about to say the one thing Ryan didn't want to do there was strike out. He needed to put that ball in play with nobody out and that runner at third, and he did a great job of driving it to pretty close to the wall and getting that run in and tying this ball game up.
So Miranda comes to the plate and will follow the first pitch off. Next pitch is ripped through the right side. Another base hit for the Bulldogs. That's their fourth hit of the game.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 20, Ed Wagner.
So Wagner comes to the plate, one out and a runner on first. That one hits him in the foot. So the Bulldogs are finding their way on. And David Kedrow is looking to continue to find the Bulldogs' way home.
Now batting the catcher, number 25, David Kedrow.
Checking in on the other MIAA tournament game, Kalamazoo grabbed 3 runs in that inning. So they lead 3-0. They head to the bottom of the third. Looks like there's a pitching change for Alma after 2 innings. First pitch to Kedro, called a strike.
This all started with that error on the ball Casal hit, making Joe's run unearned. But that's what I mean about amateur baseball. Errors, they hurt you because that makes that pitcher stay out on that mound longer. It gives everybody an extra chance to look at them, and it has really started a rally here for the Dogs in this bottom half of the third inning. And hopefully we can get some more here.
Big gap in left center. Miranda at second, Wagner at first. A 1-1 to Kedro. Catches low, but is called a strike.
That's another situation where Kedro really needs to get this ball in play somewhere, and if not get a hit, move these runners up a little bit.
And he'll swing through that one. That's strike 3. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the third for Easton Rogers.
Now batting the left fielder, number 26, Easton Rogers.
Well, that was a big out for Van Dam, the co-pitcher. He had been struggling here. Gave up a triple, single. Then he hit Ed Wagner. So
needed some of his confidence back.
Yes, he did. And he needed to leave those runners where they were.
Pitch swung at by Rogers. Evens the count 1-1. They're playing him to pull. Second baseman Gardner is the one holding Miranda on at second. As this one is dribbled up the middle. He's going to throw across his body and gets him by half a step. So that'll end the inning. 4-3 on the putout there, but the Bulldogs get 2 runs with 2 hits and an error. So we head to the top of the fourth, tied 2-2. You're watching Adrian College Baseball. Here we go to the top of the fourth. Collins leads off and takes a ball inside. This pitch off speed from Charles, fouled off. 2-2 is our score through 3 innings of play. 3 hits and an error for Hope, 4 hits and no errors for Adrian. Like I said, that other game over in Kalamazoo is winning over Alma 3-0. The winner of this game will play the winner of that game. And same for the 2 losers, as they will both face elimination tomorrow at 1 o'clock. This one's hit deep into center. Boyke trotting back on it at the warning track, makes the catch. for out number 1.
How about the second baseman, number 8, Nolan Gardner?
So Gardner comes to the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. And swings at a pitch in the dirt, evens the count 1-1. Bulldogs playing Gardner to pull as Davis plays off the line at third. Bruder plays up the middle. The winner of the MIAA tournament will earn the automatic bid to the NCAA regionals. As Gardner pops this one up right side. Going back on it's Jimenez. Backing off is Casal. Jimenez makes the catch, and it's quick out number 2.
Now batting shortstop, number 11, Devin Musin.
That brings Musin to the plate. He's got a hit on the afternoon. And he checks swings. They appeal at first. He did not go around.
Yeah, Musin's hit was that dribbler that went right over the second base bag where Bruder tried to flip it with his glove to Jimenez and wasn't able to get him. So, as the runner was coming from first base, so he got himself an infield hit.
Charles flips a breaking ball over and goes ahead 1-2 to Musin here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Nobody on for Hope. And this one's lined to Jimenez. He's going to pick the short hop and flip it over to first. And there's another 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs. So we head to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 2. You're watching the MIAA tournament here on ACTV.
For Hope College, in the top of the 4th inning, they get no runs on. Leading off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the 4th is center fielder, number 9, Jack Boyke.
So Boyke leads things off here in the bottom of the 4th. He enters today with a .304 batting average. Sitting in the 8th hole today. He looks at a fastball called a strike. He seems to be doing okay as well, as he was on the other end of that collision in right center. Pitch misses away, evens the count 1-1. As he rips a base hit up the middle, just out of the reach of the diving Nolan Gardner. So the Bulldogs have a leadoff man aboard for Rolando Jimenez.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 8, Rolando Jimenez.
Jimenez popped up with the bases loaded to end the second inning, his last at-bat. He's going to square around a bunt and fouls it back. And, Goose, I know you're very frustrated about the bunting game this season.
Well, in that particular thing, I think that was a strike, and it was a good pitch to bunt. The thing that frustrates me is the guys come up there and to bunt, and they get that side, and they just think they have to do it like it's some kind of suicide squeeze, and you don't. You can, if you're going to put down a good bunt, you need a strike just as much as if you're going to hit a double or single. It's somewhat of a lost art,
There's that, and this year they struggled to actually get the bunt down. I mean, a lot of it's come to pitch selection as Jimenez fouls this one off, but we've seen a lot of pop-ups or a lot of foul balls.
And it's not just us, because like we had a guy the other day who bunted one out of Nicolay Field, and then he hit a pop-up, and we all commented that the bunt went farther than the pop-up, but all straight back. And that's what happens when you bunt at pitches that are at eye level. So hopefully Rolando can get a hit here and move the runner up that way.
Pitch just misses inside, evens the count at 2-2. Middle infield at double play depth. Money playing deep at third. And Krisen holding the runner on at first. Jimenez stays alive again. He did this his last at-bat. He popped up with the bases loaded, but he saw 9 pitches, which is one thing you can't complain going up against a starting pitcher. Get his pitch count up and get him out of the game early. As Jimenez rips this one to left, it stays up. He flies out to left fielder Brendan Collins. And Blakey will retreat back to first.
How about the right fielder number 10, Joe Casale?
And that's another thing about getting see a lot of pitches. At some point, the more pitches you see, the easier it is to time the ball, and you're going to square one off like he just did there. Unfortunately, it was right at the left fielder, but if you'd have pulled that a little bit, we'd still be running. So.
Van Dam at 73 pitches on the afternoon so far, 45 of which are strikes. As there's a strike there. Brings the count 1-1. Casale is 0 for 2 on the day with a run scored after reaching on an error.
Casale there doing a good job of protecting the runner with kind of an emergency hack. But I think Boyke would have had that one, so it's unfortunate, but good baseball.
Casale hits this one to right. Going back on it is Saul. It's going to bounce up against the wall. So Casale at second. Boyke's only going to get to third as he had to hold halfway to make sure Saul didn't make the catch. But that is a stand-up double for Casale, and that puts runners at second and third here with one out for Nick Bruder.
Now batting the shortstop, number 5, Nick Bruder.
Yeah. Couple runners in scoring position now for the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. This is a big opportunity for the Bulldogs to grab the lead here as we move towards the middle of this ball game.
Bruder fouls this one back.
Bruder already has a triple in this ball game. It's his triple that drove in Casale after he reached on the error an inning ago. And we could use that type of a hit again, but it's 1-1 now. There's a drive up the middle. It's going to be over the bag into center field. That should get 2 runs in. Boyke scores. Here comes Casale. He scores, and the Bulldogs lead
4-2 on the single by Nick Bruder.
It's a nice piece of hitting there, a big hole up the middle. Van Dam just got a piece of the ball, but not enough to knock it down as the ball trickled up the middle. Scores 2, and Adrian holds a 4-2 lead.
Now batting the third baseman, number 17, Ryan Davis. And for Bruder, that is 3 RBIs out of the Bulldogs' 4 runs. So good job by the number 2 hitter in the Bulldog lineup. Boy, you want to see him get hot this weekend. He's the Bulldogs' leading hitter with a .397 batting average coming in. So he's going to be either over 500 or real close now with a couple of hits, as the first pitch to Davis is a strike on the outside corner. Second pitch to Davis is fouled off, out of play, and he's quickly down 0-2. A.J. Miranda standing on deck for the Bulldogs if Davis can keep this going here, as the Bulldogs look to have a big inning here in the fourth. There's a drive down the third base line. Just missed Coach Klotz down there.
He wasn't moving.
You got to stand your ground there, Mike Prang, when you're coaching there at third base. Start moving around, that's when you get hit.
That hit for Bruder is his 64th of the season. He's scratching to get into the top 10 in the single season hits total in Bulldog history. The record is 83. Ian Majkowski back in 2017.
Getting back to, here's the delivery, swung on, bounding smash. Musin goes over to his right. He makes the long throw and gets Davis, but the runner moves up to second. And he is now in scoring position with 2 outs. Now batting the first baseman, number 30, A.J. Miranda. Back to Coach Klotz down there. Is the guy who's coached a lot of first and third base in my time. Yeah, I find it odd that they gave us batting helmets to wear on the bases, but didn't allow us to bring a glove out. That to me would be a lot safer if I could just catch the ball and not let it hit me.
First pitch to Miranda, taken for a ball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Adrian grabbed a 4-2 lead, and there's a runner on second base.
And to further my point, you notice all the guys that are in the field for Hope, they don't need a helmet because they got a glove on their hand. You know, they just catch the ball.
There's a 1-1 to Miranda. Ripped up the middle. That's going to score Bruder. Throw coming home. Safe. Miranda's going to grab second on the throw. So that's going to be an RBI single for Miranda, advancing to second on the throw. And Adrian now leads 5-2.
Big 2-out hit for Miranda there. That's his third hit of the day. He has a infield signal to short, a single to right, and one to center. So he's having quite a day, and that's going to bring out Coach Fritz for a confab, and I think that's going to bring to a close the afternoon for Jake Van Dam.
Yeah, speaking of Coach Stu Fritz, he announced his retirement after 31 seasons at Hope prior to this year. So this is his last season as head baseball coach of the Flying Dutchman, and as a thank you and congratulations on a successful year, head coach Craig Rainey gifted Coach Fritz a commemorative Hope College bench, as they both came into the MIAA at the same year back in 1993. So both Coach Rainey and Coach Fritz have been coaching for 31 seasons, going up against each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for Hope College is number 26, Tyler Roberts. Roberts in place of Jake Van Dam.
So Tyler Roberts will come on to pitch, and we will let him warm up and take a short break and tell you about him when we come back. All right, welcome back. Ty Roberts on the mound.
Now batting for Adrian College's designated hitter number 20, Ed Wagner.
Jake Van Dam's day has come to an end. Coach Glott's yelling for a balk right away. So first pitch misses high. In the game earlier this year between Adrian and Hope, Roberts did pitch in relief. He went an inning and a third, allowed 3 runs, both of them earned on 2 hits. He did walk 2 and hit a batter, so struggled with control that game. So the count to Ed Wagner is even 1-1. A little more about Roberts. He's 0-1 on the season, making his 7th appearance with a 7.71 earned run average. Breaking ball misses outside, counts 2-1. He struck out 4 and has walked 6 on the year in 9 1/3 innings pitched. The 2-1 misses inside, count runs to 3-1.
Yeah, he's pitching very carefully to Ed here. He knows Ed has some power, and he's got an empty base. He's also got a right-hander on deck in David Kedrow, so he'll kind of nibble against Mr. Wagner as Wagner fouls up off the one to make it a full count.
Well, here with 2 outs, Miranda will be running on the pitch. Here's the 3-2 to Wagner. Misses outside. Ball 4. Puts runners at first and second here with 2 outs for David Kedrow.
Now batting, the catcher number 25, David Kedrow. Yeah, I think he was willing to let Ed get himself out if he would, but he is not disappointed that he walked him there.
First pitch to Kedrow, ripped up the middle. Coming around third is Miranda. Here comes the throw home. It's going to be cut off by the first baseman, Krisen. And that's an RBI single for Kedrow. That'll extend the lead to 6-2.
Now batting the left fielder, number 26, Easton Rogers.
So the bats have come alive for the Bulldogs, scoring 2 in the third and now 4 in the fourth so far. That run is credited to Van Dam, as that was the last remaining runner he was responsible for. So his day is now officially complete. Pitch misses outside. 1-1 the count to Rogers. So Van Dam finished the day 3 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned. With 8 hits, he walked 2 and struck out 2. Another breaking ball misses inside. 2-1 the count. Rogers 1 for 2 on the day. Pitch misses away, 3-1.
Yeah, Easton is the 9th batter this inning as Boyke has let it all off, and he's standing on the on-deck circle. And now it's 3-2, so the runners will be going. So you think of an extra base nature would probably score 2 more runs if the Easton can come through here.
Rogers with 23 RBIs on the season, looking for more. Here's the 3-2, misses low and away. That'll walk Rogers to load the bases for Boyke, and we will see Coach Fritz again making a walk out to the mound. And it was a short day for Roberts as another pitching change. So we will find out who our new pitcher is and tell you about him when we come back. Adrian leads 6-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded with 2 outs. We'll be back. You're watching the MIAA tournament here.
Number 18, Matt Plain in place of Tyler Roberts. Rogers on first.
Welcome back. New pitcher for Hope. It's Matt Plain on for a team-leading 13th time this season. He's 2-0 on the year in 25 2/3 innings pitched, pitching in relief. A 4.21 ERA. He's struck out 16 so far this season and has walked 13. Hitters are hitting .237 against the left-hander. The Bulldogs have the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. They've already scored 4 runs this inning, leading 6-2. That brings Jack Boyke to the plate.
Now batting, center fielder, number 9, Jack Boyke.
So Ty Roberts is responsible for the runners on base right now.
This is a key moment in this ball game as they bring on Plain to face the left-handed Boyke. And if Jack could come through, it could really bust this game open.
He's quickly ahead 2-0. A couple of pitches missed low. Boyke on the day, 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. He will take strike 1. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for Hope. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Adrian.
He also had that single that led this inning off as he scored the first run of the inning. as the Bulldogs have tallied 4 times here in the 4th inning. But they certainly would like to add a few more here. You never get enough, especially in these tournaments.
Count is 2-2, and Boyke grabs a piece of that slider, fouls it off. Stay alive.
He used every inch of that red and white bat he's got there. Just staying alive.
Plain working out of the windup. The 2-2 pitch misses high, full count.
Plain seems to want to rely on that curveball, especially against the left-hander Boyke. So we'll see what he does here on 3-2. Again, all the runners are running here. Good time for an extra base hit. Fouled out into the highway. But you can see right there that Kedro was almost to the third baseman when that ball was actually hit. So he'd score easily on any kind of a hit.
Well, and with Plain working out of the windup, there's no way to pick off, so no one's holding him on. Check swing misses low. They appealed. He did not go around. Ball 4. That'll walk in a run. And that brings up Rolando Jimenez, as Adrian now leads 7-2.
Now batting the second baseman, number 8, Rolando Jimenez.
Seems like a warning has been issued to the Hope dugout. I'm going to assume arguing balls and strikes there.
Yeah. That
I
is
don't
true,
see
but
how you can argue that one if the
Well,
home plate umpire appealed it immediately.
Yeah. That's what they were arguing about, that it clearly wasn't a strike called, but Ted, this is a big advantage this ball game right here, because if Jimenez can get a hit, not only will we get a few more runs, but we'll get to the top of the order, and this inning could go on a long time.
The base is loaded for Jimenez. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 the count now.
And I know this has got to be frustrating for Coach Fritz, because when you're a reliever, your job is to come in and throw strikes. You don't have the luxury of just picking at the plate, because you always come in with guys on base. I mean, and both relievers, Roberts and Plain, have issued walks on their. I mean, if he gets out of this next inning, he can kind of go back to that, but with the bases loaded, again, literally the last 3 batters have had all the runners running all around the bases on 3-2. So,
well, and also your job as a reliever in this situation, already given up 5, is just come in and attack the hitter. This one's ripped over to Money. Money bobbles it. He's going to beat Rogers to third, and that's going to be out number 3. So Hope finally gets out of it. They allow 5 runs that inning. Adrian jumps out to a 7-2 lead here in the first round of the MIAA tournament. The trip to stay alive in the winners bracket is on the line. We head to the top of the 5th. Jacob Charles headed back out to the mound for the Bulldogs, and we'll be welcome back. Top of the 5th, Adrian leading 7-2. The other game going on, Kalamazoo leading 3-1. Alma got one of the runs back, and they head to the bottom of the 5th.
Look out for Hope in the top half of the 5th inning. Is third baseman number 2, Al Money.
So Money will lead things off. He helped get Hope out of that inning as he recovered his bobble at third and beat Rogers to the bag to pick up the force out for out number 3. So Charles back on the mound after having a long break in the bottom of the 4th.
And see that happened. It illustrates the point I was trying to make about, you know, the 3-2 counts. Because it was 2-2, he was able to beat the Bulldog runner to the base. And that happened on 3-2, everybody would have been safe.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the speed of Jimenez, he wouldn't have had time to fire all the way across the diamond.
Nope, he had no chance to get Jimenez once he bobbled it. And that runner would have been well to third base already. He'd had no play.
So Money went ahead 3-0. Now it's 3-1. Or 3-1, I should say. 7-2 is our score. Money tries to bunt this one. It will land foul. So this count runs full.
And I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure he just bunted it ball 4. That pitch was high. So now he'll face a 3-2 count, but no runners on base, so not quite the same situation.
This one ripped down the line at third. Davis with a dive. He will throw across the diamond, one hop it to Miranda on line, and that's a nice play by Davis.
That's beyond a nice play. That is just highway robbery right there. Now batting the catcher number 5, Andrew Pickett. And
however, we make a really nice play there, but we missed the ball on the around the horn afterwards.
Well, you know, wasn't enough pressure on throwing the ball around the horn.
I don't think Davis could have reached any further for that on that dive.
Well, the key to that play, and again, this is yet another, you know, I always point out how Nicolay Field is such a home field advantage, is you can't do that on a grass field because it wouldn't have got to first base, as this fly ball is out to Easton Rogers, and he'll glove it for out number 2. But the Bulldogs, you know, if you ever come down and watch a Bulldog practice, they practice that. They practice bouncing that ball into the first baseman, and he knew that if he just threw it over there and got it on the ground, he knew the exact spot and did it. Now batting the center fielder number 4, Robbie Sturzma.
So we're back to the top of the Hope lineup. Sturzma looks at ball 1 low.
It's one of those things that Johnny Bench used to do when they first got the artificial turf there at Riverfront. He got to the point where he would make his throw and he'd hit the right spot on the artificial turf and have it bounce in to Morgan or Concepcion, who were covering the bag, and that ball would be right there for the tag on stolen bases. And now, you know, I see the infielders picking this up a lot when they play on artificial surfaces like this here at Nicolay Field.
Strike 3. Sturzma swings through a high fastball, and another 1-2-3 inning for Charles and the Bulldogs. So that is the exact thing you want after putting up 5 the half inning before, to go down and sit down the Flying Dutchman 1-2-3. Keep that momentum with you. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Adrian looking to keep the bats hot as they lead 7-2.
Pulling off for the Bulldogs is right fielder number 10, Joe Casal.
Top of the order for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the fifth. 7-2 our score. First pitch from playing a ball outside. Casal hits this one. It's going foul down the right field line. Kalamazoo still leading Alma 3-1. We have no pitch.
There's a ball loose out in the outfield. He called time before the pitch was thrown. So
the foul ball to right was just thrown back in by a fan.
So fans and everyone, you didn't see that. Didn't happen.
So 1-1 is the count. Now that pitch counted for a ball. This pitch taken for a strike. 2-2 the count to Casal. Adrian looking to add to its 7-2 lead. Pitch just a bit high. Tried the corner and missed.
Yes. I would say that was a good goalie stop, but a goalie wouldn't have had to stop it. He could just let it sail over his head into the crowd.
Called strike 3. Fastball right over the plate. And that'll sit down Casal for out number 1. And the MIAA batting champion, Nick Bruder, to the plate.
Now batting, shortstop number 5, Nick Bruder. And Nick is hitting like a batting champion here today. He has a triple that knocked in a run. He's got a single that knocked in 2 runs, 3 RBIs on the afternoon. His ground ball to third was hit pretty good too. So the one time they have got him out, as he fouls that one back to make the count 1-1.
There's the 1-1 pitch from Plain. Call the strike. The all MIAA team gets announced tomorrow. And those honorees playing in the tournament will be honored during tomorrow's tournament games as Bruder rolls this one over to short. Musin picks it up, fires across the diamond for out number 2.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 17, Ryan Davis.
Davis looks at a pitch low for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 on the day with an RBI on a sacrifice fly. Takes a 2-0 fastball right down the middle. In case you're just joining us, Hope got 2 in the top of the third on an inside the park home run. Adrian responded with 2 in the third and 5 in the fourth. That brings us to our 7-2 score. 2 runs on 3 hits with an error for Hope. 7 runs on 9 hits with no errors for Adrian. 2-2 the count here to Davis. Swings and a miss at an off-speed pitch. And that'll sit down Davis and end the 5th inning. 1-2-3 inning there for Plain. And the Bulldogs will head back out to the field. Jacob Charles headed back out to the mound to pitch the 6th. And we'll be back. You're watching Adrian College Baseball in the MIAA tournament here. Welcome back, top of the sixth. Adrian leading 7-2. Jacob Charles returns to the mound for the Bulldogs.
Leadoff for Hope College in the top half of the sixth inning is the right fielder, number 9, Charlie Saul.
Saul will lead things off. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout, a walk, and a run scored. And he will look at first pitch strike. Saul was the runner on base during the 2-run inside the park home run.
Hey, another thing about that one was when he first hit it, I didn't think it was much trouble, but as I thought that Boyke would get there, but as he kept running, there's a smash diving stop by Miranda, flips to Charles for the out. Another solid defensive play by the Bulldogs. They are pulling off some gems here in the last couple innings. Now batting the first baseman, number 6, Owen Crizzen.
They really have been. The defense today for Adrian has been stellar, especially after the last time they played, a non-conference game last Saturday against Penn State Barron. They had 3 errors, and they were sloppy errors, to say the least.
Well,
but they're responding much better today.
Your focus gets a little bit sharper when you're playing for your season here.
Reuter picks up a ground ball from Crizzen, fires across to Miranda. That's out number 2. It brings up Cade Seabaugh.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 3, Cade Seabaugh.
Seabaugh 0 for 2 on the day with a flyout and a ground out.
No disrespect to Penn State Bernard, but that was not a tournament contest, and it was the end of a 4-game weekend series, you know.
Yeah, it was just definitely both teams just getting guys innings, but also using it as there's a check swing for a ball. But both teams kind of using it as just an extra contest to get their 40 regular season games in. But both teams having a pretty good record where it will help their RPI to an at-large bid if their conference tournaments don't go well for them. Penn State Barron won that game 6-5. This ball's hit into right center. Going back on it is Casal. He's going to play it off the wall and fire it in, and just like that, Seabaugh has a 2-out double here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting is left fielder number 16, Brendan Collins. Brendan Collins stepping up here. He's got a runner out there. See if he can do something. Collins, a native of Kalamazoo, Michigan, the pride of the Irish at Kalamazoo Hackett High School. He takes a swing at a ball in the dirt, and it's 0-2.
Runner on second for the Flying Dutchman, looking to bring him home and try to change the momentum. This one hit off the end of the bat. Liner to Rolando Jimenez at second. And that'll do it here in the top of the 6th. So the Flying Dutchman leave a runner stranded in scoring position. Adrian holds on to a 7-2 lead, and we'll be back right after.
Leading off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the 6th inning is first baseman number 30, A.J. Miranda.
So Miranda to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch misses outside. Plain's still on the mound. Doesn't look to be any work going on in the Hope bullpen, so Coach Fritz is going to ride with Plain for a while, and just like we were talking about earlier, you want to limit the amount of pitchers you use for these tournaments. So we could see an extended appearance out of Plain here. Miranda pops this one to right. It's trailing into the corner, and the catch is made. Crashing into the wall is Saul, and that is out number 1.
Now batting designated hitter number 20, Ed Wagner. Well, Plain has done a good job with the exception of when he just first came in. And his problem was when he came in, there were lots of runners on base, and he couldn't throw strikes. But since he's getting the innings and he's starting on his own, he has rectified that problem, and he's been tough for the Bulldogs to handle since then.
It's always much easier for pitchers to come in with a fresh inning, or at least the base is cleared.
Yeah. Now, like I said, when you come in and you have runners on base, you got to bring it right down Broadway, and he did it there as he gets Ed Wagner looking, and strike 3. Now batting the catcher number 25, David Kedrow.
Yeah, just flipped over a breaking ball there, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Plain. Music.
It seems that his curveball is hard for right-handers to hit, which you understand the left-hander, but the ball breaking into them, you'd think they'd have better success, but they have not. And they're getting mostly off-speed stuff from Plain. So you got to kind of readjust your approach at the plate here, kind of shorten up and put the ball in play against pitchers like this. They can be very effective, especially the guys like this with a good breaking ball that come from the left side for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of the effectiveness is how much drop it has on it. So count is full to Kedrow, and he swings, tips it into the glove of Pickett, and that'll be out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Plain. And we'll head to the top of the 7th. Adrian holding on to a 7-2.
Number 8, Nolan Gardner.
Gardner leads things off here in the top of the 7th. Jacob Charles stays on the mound. He's had 86 pitches today. And if he can continue to attack the zone, we could get at least 8 innings out of him, although there is some work in the Adrian bullpen. It looks like Luke St. Antoine is up and moving.
Yeah, but he's not seriously getting warmed up right now. He's
just walking around and tossing the ball, and the other...
He throws a couple pitches, then he watches Charles throw a couple pitches. But go runners get on base. I'm sure that will speed up. There's a line drive that is just inside the line. Oh, that was just about an inch from being foul. And it's a leadoff single for Gardner. And that'll bring up Devin Mewson. Now batting, the shortstop, number 11, Devin Mewson.
Yeah, I think that one just hit the chalk. But Hope does have their leadoff man aboard for Mewson. This one rolled over to Bruder at short, flips over to Jimenez at second. He can't get the throw off, so a fielder's choice. It's a nice play there by the middle infield. I don't necessarily think Jimenez couldn't get the throw off, but more so that Mewson was hustling down the line and would have beat it anyway.
Now batting, third baseman, number 2, Al Money. Yeah, that's another big play by Bruder because, you know, it gets that first out of the inning. And it would have been first and second with nobody out. And that would have got the Bulldog bullpen going a little bit harder out there. So, huge out for the Bulldogs.
Lincoln Lipinski is also moving a little bit down in that bullpen. So there's 2 arms up. No one working in the Hope bullpen. So like I said, I think we'll see an extended relief appearance out of Matt Plain. This one rolled over Jimenez at second, flips to Bruder. Bruder turns it over to first. Double play, and the Bulldogs are out of the inning. 4-6-3 double play for the Bulldogs, and they hold Hope in the 7th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Bulldogs still lead 7-2. Welcome back. Bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs lead 7-2 over Hope in this first round MIAA tournament game.
Leading off for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the 7th is left fielder number 26, Easton Rogers.
The other tournament game between Kalamazoo and Alma. Kalamazoo leads 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. They got runners on first and second with 2 outs. First pitch to Rogers outside for a ball. The winner of this game and the winner of Kalamazoo and Alma will play tomorrow at 10 a.m. The winner of that game will be done for the day and advance to the MIAA Tournament Championship game. The first elimination game between the losers of this game and Kalamazoo and Alma will play at 1 p.m. And one team will be eliminated after that game. And then we'll move on to play the loser of the winner bracket final, the 10 a.m. game. That game will be played at 4 p.m. After today, the entire tournament moves to Kalamazoo College, as Kalamazoo won the MIAA regular season and holds the number 1 seed. A 1-2 pitch to Rogers, a breaking ball that he gets a piece of to foul it off. Also tomorrow is the start of the MIAA tournament for softball. Trine University will serve as the host, as they won their regular season and they picked up the number 1 seed. They will start the day with number 4 Adrian, and then the second game of the tournament will be between number 2 Calvin and number 3 Hope, as we see Rogers strike out swinging the first out of the inning.
Now batting center fielder number 9, Jack Boyke. Well, Boyke was the first batter that Plain faced, and he walked him, which walked in a run. And since then, Mr. Plain has been pretty effective. There's a smash to shortstop. Houston grabs it, throws across the diamond, and there's 2 away in the Bulldogs 7th. Now batting the second baseman, number 8, Rolando Jimenez.
Looking at some of the rankings when it comes to the at-large bids for the NCAA tournament for baseball and softball, the regional rankings tend to play more in effect than the national ranking. The regional rankings are more based on the team's RPI. Adrian College, the only team in the MIAA ranked regionally. They're ranked 6th in the region. NCAA ranks the top 7 in each region.
And our region traditionally is a pretty loaded area of the country.
It is.
In Division III.
We see Denison at 31-5, ranked number 1 in the region and top 3 in the country. Baldwin Wallace also, I believe they're top 5 in the country. As Jimenez rolls this one over to short, that's going to be a base hit. So the Bulldogs have a man aboard here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
That's the first hit off Plain, who since coming on has 5 strikeouts. Now batting right fielder number 10, Joe Casal.
But then you look at the regional rankings for softball. Trine ranked number 1 in the region, Calvin ranked 4th, and Hope ranked 7th. So a lot of MIAA schools in those regional rankings. The Bulldogs were ranked regionally, but after a split series with Kalamazoo, kind of knocked them out. But if they can find their way to the MIAA tournament championship game at least, and Rolando Jimenez falls for the left-handed pickoff move, and he's picked off at first base. That'll end the inning. So Joe Casal will lead off the next inning, and we head to the 8th with the Bulldogs still leading 7-2.
Rogers. Leading off for Hope in the top of the 8th is catcher number 5, Andrew Pickett.
So Pickett leads things off here in the top of the 8th. He squares around a bunt and a liner hit at Davis. And that's a quick out, number 1, as he picks that one up, throws it across to Miranda. Brings up the top of the order.
Now batting the center fielder number 4, Robbie Sturzma.
Couple defensive changes for the Bulldogs. Lincoln Hayward checks into the game for Easton Rogers, but he's going to go play right field. And Joe Casal is going to move from right to left. It's here in the top of the 8th as Robbie Sturzma looks at a first pitch called strike. Jacob Charles still on the mound at 95 pitches. 61 of them strikes, so he's been pretty efficient. And looks at strike 2.
Well, as we said at the top of the broadcast, Charles is the Bulldogs' ace. He came into today's game with an 8-1 record, so you're going to ride that horse as long as you can. And with a 5-run lead, if he can avoid using guys like San Antone and the rest of that bullpen out there, he's going to do it as long as Charles is effective.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. That's out number 2.
Now batting the right fielder, number 9, Charlie Saul.
And we still see Lincoln Lipinski and Luke St. Antoine in the bullpen, but they're just kind of standing there.
Yeah, they're there, and they're admiring that last pitch from Jacob Charles, which the batter, Sturzma, also stood and admired because that was right down Broadway. That was a great breaking ball, and he had no chance to hit that one.
Count to Saul evens at 1-1. Oh, the regular season matchup between Adrian and Hope. Charles pitched, and like I said earlier, he went the complete game. Adrian won 11-3. Well, he's at 101 pitches now after that ball high. But I think we're riding the adrenaline maybe, and he did not go. That was more of a defensive check swing as that pitch was very much inside, almost hit Saul.
Yeah. The place he was going was out of the back of the batter's box, which made it look like he swung. But
this ball hit deep to left field. Casal going back on it. He's in front of the warning track. Will make the catch, and another 1-2-3 inning for Charles. And that'll do it in the top of the 8th. Bulldogs still holding on to a 7-2 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. You're watching the MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACT. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Bulldogs leading Hope 7-2. The runs came early in the game, and it's been silent the rest of the way. 2 runs in the top of the 3rd for Hope, 2 in the bottom for Adrian, and 5 in the bottom of the 4th.
Leading off for Adrian in the bottom of the 8th inning is left fielder number 10, Joe Casal.
Casal hits this one left side. It's going to get past Money for a base hit. And the Bulldogs once again have the leadoff man aboard for Bruder.
Now batting the shortstop number 5, Nick Bruder. about to say, the Bulldogs, this is kind of their last chance to add some runs here to their lead for the 9th inning. There's a drifter by Bruder that, a spectacular catch by Musin. He does some acrobatic job there. Great play by the shortstop, senior from Rockford, Michigan, for Hope. And I'll bring up Ryan Davis. Now batting the third baseman, number 17, Ryan Davis.
We've seen some fantastic defense so far in this game for both sides. I thought for a second, the ball just got off the end of the bat from Bruder. I thought it was going to get past Musin, but he stayed with it and made a nice leaping grab.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that's what Bruder was trying to do. I just kind of punched this one and hit it over shortstop's head, and it almost happened. It would have been his 4th hit of the day, but there's a drive by Davis. This is deep into left field. Now the center fielder calling for it. He makes the grab, and there are 2 down.
It brings A.J. Miranda to the plate with 2 outs. The pitchers warming up in the Adrian bullpen have sat down.
Now batting the first baseman, number 30, A.J. Miranda.
I did think I saw Lincoln Lipinski walking to the dugout in between innings, but we'll see if Coach Rainey goes with him in the 9th or if we're going to stick with Charles, who's at 103 pitches. But like we've talked about, tournament time. So this rolls over to short. I'll fire it over to first, and that'll do it here in the bottom of the 8th. Jacob Charles is slowly walking to the mound and will pitch the 9th. So Bulldogs are holding on to a 7-2 lead. Charles going for his 2nd complete game of the season against Hope, and we'll be right back with the top of the 9th. To the top of the 9th we go. Adrian leading by 5, 7-2 the score. And Owen Krisen to lead things off for Hope in the 9th.
Leading off for the Flying Dutchman in the top of the 9th inning is first baseman, number 6, Owen Krisen.
And Jacob Charles stays on the mound and will throw first pitch strike to Krisen. A big gap in left center as Casal's playing straight up and left, and Boyke has shifted over towards right field. Breaking ball gets away from Charles, evens the count 1-1.
Krisen hit that inside the park home run for all of Hope's runs this afternoon. That was, of course, aided by the collision out there in right center field by Casal and Boyke. Other than that, he's bounced to the mound and bounced to short. So he is the 3rd hitter in the Flying Dutch lineup. So they'll have 3, 4, and 5 here in the 9th. The hitters you'd want when you need a 5-run rally.
Lipinski and St. Antoine are back standing, but just playing catch down there, not getting anywhere serious. And this one's a base hit up the middle. So Hope has a leadoff man aboard.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 3, Cade Seabaugh.
Ron, Hope should have one more.
So Seabaugh stepping in. The left-hander has a double this afternoon in 3 trips. He's also bounced to Miranda at first and popped up to Ryan Davis. Runner at first. He is not consequential at this point, other than he's on base as the Bulldogs try and get these final 3 outs. Here's the pitch on the outside corner for a strike, make it 1-1. Again, in this situation, when you're a base runner, the only thing you're thinking about is not making an out on the bases.
And the only thing Jacob Charles is thinking of is trying to get a ground ball here. The infield shifted slightly. Bruder playing behind the bag at second. Rolando Jimenez in normal double play depth, and Davis playing off the line at third. This one, a jammed shot foul. So that evens the count 2-2. Seabaugh with a big open stance for a lefty. So
yeah,
that was see why they're playing the pole.
That was a good pitch there by Charles. He busted that one in on his hands, and there was very little he could do about it for strike 2.
A 2-2 from Charles. Fouled back and off the forearm of Kedro. He's going to need a minute to shake that one off.
I'm just bringing that up by Charles because you can tell that even though it is the 9th inning, he still has his good stuff, even though, you know, they got the leadoff hit off him. But that's the same kind of pitch he was throwing back in the first inning to. So Kedro gets back in there behind the plate. That's just the life of a catcher. You got to fight those off. 2-2 pitch on the way from Charles and fouled it off again. This one fortunately hit Kedro's mitt and not him. That would have been tough 2 in a row.
Fortunately, but also unfortunately, had he squeezed onto that one, that would have been strike 3.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough catch, though.
Runner at first, 2-2. Misses just inside. I don't know where.
Well, I tell you, that was such a good pitch. It fooled more than the batter. And that happens. That happens, you know. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Here's the 3-2. Popped up. Running back on it is Davis, and it's out of play. Wide of the Adrian bullpen.
I guarantee you, if you've umped for been an umpire for any length of time, you know that sometimes that just happens.
Coach Rainey has a step out of the dugout. I wonder if that's going to be it after this hitter for Charles. As I don't know where that one missed either, and that is ball 4, and we'll put runners at first and second here with nobody out in the 9th, and I believe that is it for Charles. 118 pitches on the afternoon, and that will be it for him. We'll see who Adrian goes to out of the pen. It is going to be Luke St. Antoine, and a standing ovation for Jacob Charles as he pitched one heck of a game. He's still responsible for the runners on base, but to go into the 9th, hold him to 2 runs, 6 hits, especially after pitching a complete game against Hope on the road earlier in the year. He's just been effective, and Hope has not been able to figure him out. So we will step aside for a minute and let Mr. St. Antoine warm up, and we'll be back with more MIAA tournament baseball. Welcome back. New pitcher for the Bulldogs. It's Luke St. Antoine. He's been the first guy out of the pen quite a bit this year.
Now batting the left fielder, number 16, Miranda Collins.
He's coming on for the 13th time. He's pitched 24 2/3 innings, a 1-1 record on the year. He's made one start and holds an ERA of 2.19. He will face Brendan Collins to start, and he will swing through the first pitch. Nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Runners at first and second. Crizzen at second. Seabaugh at first for Hope, as they trail by 5. Next pitch just misses from hitting Collins.
Yeah, that is something we do not need in this spot.
Hope is a team that can knock the ball around the field.
Now, again, when you're a reliever, your job is to come in and throw strikes. And
the umpire has called time twice as Luke St. Antoine is moving a little bit too fast. This new pitch clock rule. The hitter must be looking at the pitcher, as that one's off the end of the bat, and it's going to roll into center field. It's going to be an RBI single, and Seabaugh gets to third on that. That was a crazy spinning bounce. The umpire's even going to check this ball, see if there's a cut in it, but some tough communication between Rolando Jimenez and Nick Bruder up the middle.
now batting, second baseman, number 8, Nolan Gardner. Well, that brings the tying run to the on-deck circle. So
Hope is not going away, and I don't think anyone here in this ballpark expected them to go away, as Hope's always been the competitive team, especially when it comes to playing Adrian. There's such a huge rivalry between them, and honestly, a lot of that's because Craig Rainey and Stu Fritz have both coached in the MIAA for 31 years. This one rolled over to second, flips it to second for 1, over to first for 2. A run does score, but that brings 2 outs. 4-6-3 double play.
How batting shortstop, number 11, Devin Mewson.
And Mewson comes to the plate as Hope is down to their final out. He'll look at strike 1. Base is empty now. 7-4 is our score.
That was just what the doctor ordered there, Michael Prang. Again, get runners on in the 9th inning when you're behind like this. They don't become important until that tying run gets to the plate. And that tying run just moved back into the dugout with 2 outs. There's a drive down over the head of Davis. Casal will get it. And the tying run moves back to the on-deck circle.
I get attacking the hitter in this situation, but you can't leave an 0-2 pitch right over the plate.
Now batting, third baseman, number 2, Al Money.
0-2 hits are killers. That's got to be a waste pitch, especially since Mewson looked at pitches 1 and 2 go by. The pitch thrown right there should have been the pitch there, 0-2, rather than something right over the middle of the plate. So 1-0 the count to Money. So that one's a ball. There's a called strike. 2-1 the count to Money. Money is 0 for 3 on the day with 3 ground outs. That one misses away. So 3-1 the count, and like we've been saying all day, the relief pitchers need to come in and throw strikes.
You got to make money hit the ball here.
This one, Chopper back to the mound. St. Antoine picks up, fires the first, and the Bulldogs hold on to take round one of the MIAA tournament. They will advance to the winner's bracket final. The Battle of the Unbeatens will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Kalamazoo College. An update on that game, Kalamazoo leading 4-1 in the bottom of the eighth. They got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Hope College will fall to the elimination game and face the loser of Kalamazoo and Alma tomorrow, also at Kalamazoo at 1 p.m. is the projected start. So time of today's game, 2 hours and 17 minutes. It ends 7-4. We'll hear the final line
Ladies
score.
and gentlemen, for Hope College in the top of the ninth inning, they get 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 1 was left on base. Here is the final line score of today's game. First for Hope College, they get 4 runs on 8 hits. They made 1 error and left 4 runners on base. For the Adrian College Bulldogs, they get 7 runs on 11 hits. They make no errors, and they leave 9 on base. Our winning pitcher this afternoon for Adrian is Jacob Charles. His record is now 9-1, and the losing pitcher for Hope is Jake Van Dam. His record falls to 2-2. Time of today's game was 2 hours and 17 minutes. With this win, the Adrian College Bulldogs move to the undefeated game of the MIAA tournament. They will play tomorrow at 10 o'clock against the winner of Kalamazoo and Alma. And then the Hope College Flying Dutchmen will make their second appearance in the tournament tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. They will play the loser of that game between between Kalamazoo and Alma. Again, there is a 4 o'clock game in the tournament tomorrow afternoon. All the games are at Kalamazoo College. And again, for up-to-date information on the tournament and the Bulldogs in it, please go to www.adrianbulldogs.com, as it will keep you up to date on all the tournament action.
So that'll do it here from Nicolay Field. Like we just heard, 7 runs on 11 hits, no errors for the Bulldogs, 4 runs on 8 hits with 1 error for Hope. And that does it. I mean, a great pitching performance by Jacob Charles to get out and grab this win. He went 8 innings of work. He started the 9th through 121 pitches, allowed 4 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 3. 2 of those runs came on that inside the park homer back in the 3rd inning, which, had there not been that collision, who knows what could have happened. Maybe only 1 came in. Maybe they only got to 2nd and 3rd. But unfortunate events for the Bulldogs gave Hope those extra 2 runs there. But a great performance overall by Adrian.
Yeah, it was indeed a great performance, not only by Charles, but the entire team. Really sharp on defense today. There was a fantastic play by Davis, a couple by Bruder, and the Bulldogs just came up with big plays when they needed it. They got clutch hits in the big inning there, the 4th inning. And again, as you mentioned, it came right after the collision in center field, in which they got the 2 runs. So when challenged, the Bulldogs came through, and they get the win. So now they move on to tomorrow's unbeaten game. That game's going to be at 10 o'clock at Kalamazoo College, and it's going to be between either Alma or Kalamazoo, whoever wins that game in Kalamazoo today. But sharp way to begin the tournament, and this is our final game at Nicolay Field for the year. Another great year of baseball here at the Nick, and we're glad everybody has tuned in all season. And before we leave, I just want to say congratulations to everybody who worked on ACTV for another season here, as there have been a whole lot of sports and a whole lot of games and a lot of time, and it takes a great effort by all the students that are learning to be broadcasters, whether they're behind the camera or directing or announcing, and we couldn't do it without their help. So thank you to everybody at ACTV for another great year.
So, yeah, like Goose said, Adrian will advance and play the winner of Kalamazoo and Alma. Kalamazoo currently winning that game 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th. And then Hope, that game will take place at 10 a.m. again at Kalamazoo tomorrow. And then Hope will play the loser of that game at 1 p.m. in the first of 2 elimination games tomorrow. Winning the game tomorrow will be big, as that's the only game the winner's bracket would play. And it would advance to the championship of the MIAA tournament scheduled for Friday at 12 p.m., also at Kalamazoo. Weather is not looking the greatest, so stay tuned to AdrianBulldogs.com or MIAA.org for all the updated tournament information. But we thank you for joining us here today. I'm Mike Prang, joined alongside Dave Van Giesen. The Bulldogs take the opening round of the MIAA tournament, defeating Hope 7-4.
continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.